You deserved everything you got. This is a union city.
That is a Philadelphia tradition.
Seize the means of podcasting.
Oh, God, the boss has crushed us.
Let me tell you one thing else.
In oldie-timey times.
The pleasure of the flesh is in solidarity.
We will not raw dog reality for that one.
It's going to be wholly unprofessional.
The Scab Buster.
What have we become?
Eat together strong. Let that be your mantra.
Solidarity. Solidarity forever.
Hello and welcome to the Labor John podcast, where we yearn to learn about the working class history of Philadelphia and the surrounding world. My name is Sam James, and I'm joined by my co-host, good friend, and all-around funny, entertaining, and smart guy.
I'm Gabe Christie. I think.
You are entertaining? You will be entertaining on this episode.
You've put me in an awkward position where I can't respond without, self-aggrandizing. So thank you for that.
You're welcome. And today we're going to learn about the very, very special topic of...
So there was recently a bit of a strike in Philadelphia. Just a little one.
Just a little tiny one.
Yeah. Of 9,000 municipal employees, including sanitation workers. And this is not the first time that that's happened.
Oh, is this the second time, Gabe?
It's not even the second time.
What?
So...
History sounds important, Gabe. We should probably learn more about it.
Yes, that's why we're here.
Oh my god!
And there was a meme floating around during the strike of basically saying every society has to learn about every 40 years that sanitation workers are the bedrock of society. Mm-hmm. And lo and behold, Philly has had a sanitation strike almost exactly every 40 years.
Right on time.
So we're going to talk about the last one, or the last one before the most recent one, in 1986.
Ooh, the penultimate strike. I like it.
And so to give a little bit of background, those who know the podcast will probably know the 1938 strike, which started the municipal unions in Philly, or at least started organized sanitation workers. That was back when sanitation workers formed the Municipal Workers Union, went on strike after kind of during and after the strike, formed AFSCME Local 222, which combined all of the blue-collar municipal jobs, which was street cleaning, highways, and water. Then those got broken up into Local 427 for street cleaning, Local 394 for the water department, and Local 403 for the Highways Bureau, which I think just became streets. Then in 1944, there was actually a rank-and-file led strike which broke the labor peace agreement during the war. And that led to AFSCME International coming in and cracking down on the locals a little bit and reforming them into District Council 33, which allowed them to coordinate actions across all of Philly's blue-collar locals. Mm-hmm. So you didn't have the individual locals acting independently. Now they would negotiate as a single block.
Okay.
Yeah. And while still maintaining a certain level of independence for, you don't have one contract for all of them. Each individual local can can get different parts of or different specific things in their contract.
Sure.
So 33 expanded and included jobs at the zoo and parks and recreation, other municipal jobs like crossing guards, license and inspection, and again, every blue-collar job in the city government.
Cool.
So that is the broad background of District Council 33 in Philadelphia. Now we need to talk about the guy on the right-hand side in this little heart here, a fella by the name of Earl Stout. So Earl Stout joined the sanitation department after World War II. Initially, he was a laborer. Then he worked his way up into a mechanic position. Became a shop steward in 1961. Then a business agent for the sanitation local in 1965. And he was eventually elected the president of District Council 33, just as everybody's favorite mayor, Frank Rizzo, was facing a primary challenge.
Friend of the show.
Yes. So...
friend of people with warm hearts everywhere, Gabe.
Yes.
A gentle teddy bear of a mayor and police commissioner.
Yeah. Whose bum was permanently covered in crumbs. So basically Stout's first action as president, or first major action as president of DC 33, was negotiating a 13% raise right before the election.
Oh, okay.
Because he recognized Rizzo was facing a primary challenge, and he basically came in and said, listen, you're the current mayor, you'll get blamed for a trash strike. Give us a raise or we're going to ruin your election chances.
This sounds familiar, Gabe.
Yes. We
should preface this whole thing by saying don't fuck with sanitation.
They will make your life very difficult.
Yes.
So Stout pretty much immediately recognized that he could use the political pressure of a DC 33 strike to apply pressure to mayoral administrations. And that kind of became his MO, that he would leverage both the labor pressure from a strike and then use that to apply political pressure. And he knew how to play city politics well.
He's playing the game.
Yeah. It's doing what the president of a district council of municipal workers is supposed to do.
Yeah.
So now we move on to the fellow on the left-hand side, Wilson Goode.
Friend of the show.
Yeah. Also another Philly mayor that did nothing wrong. So Woodrow Wilson Goode, which is just an insane name. So he came from North Carolina, is the son of tenant farmers. He arrived in Philly in 1953, went to Morgan State University, was in the ROTC, then after college joined the Army as an officer in the military police. He came back to Philly, started working in the municipal government with the Philadelphia Council for Community Development in 1967. Became its executive director in 1971, earned a master's in public administration from Penn, and then after that started moving up in city government very quickly. His first major interaction between Goode and Stout was in 1980, when Mayor Green chose Wilson Goode for the city's managing director, which was over Stout's preferred choice of Orville Pat Jones.
No, not Orville.
It was more labor, or considered to be more labor friendly. And had more of a direct tie to Stout.
Yeah.
So anyway, Stout, along with 50 unionists, protested at Green's inauguration ceremony. And later that day, 192 garbage trucks were found vandalized.
Oh.
So they were letting Mayor Green know that they were not happy with him.
Damn.
So Stout and Goode got off to a pretty rocky start, with Stout berating Goode publicly into the press and making fun of him for being a church deacon. But Stout also recognized that if he wanted political power in the city, he needed to support a winning mayoral candidate. So when Goode ran for mayor in 1983, Stout, along with pretty much most of the progressive unionists in Philly, backed him. This included the president of DC 47, Thomas Paine Cronin, who
Great names.
Yes, this whole episode is just fantastic names. We'll get back to Thomas Paine Cronin in a little bit. So, all of the progressive unionists, including both AFSCME District Council presidents, backed Goode when he ran for mayor. And this is especially important because Goode, who would be the first black mayor, was running against the former mayor, Frank Rizzo, who came back from the dead.
You thought non-zombie Rizzo was bad.
Oh, surprisingly, slightly more Riz the second time. Well, the slide will change eventually. There we go.
Wow, I love the slide game.
It took me a surprisingly long amount of time to get the broken heart to work. Okay, so Goode gets elected, comes in as mayor in 1984. Stout pretty much expected a transactional relationship with Goode. So he figured, I backed you, my union came out and supported you, we canvassed for you. There should be some reciprocity here.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah. Instead, Goode started investigating members of the sanitation department for corruption.
What?
Yeah, that was his response. What little positive relationship they had basically just kind of crumbled at this point. And they went into contract negotiations for the 1986 contract on already very rough terms. And the two men did not like each other. They were also both just like walking egos, both of these men. I mean, like...
That's always a good thing.
Yeah, to a certain extent, if you're going to be involved in city politics, you need that, but it doesn't make for a good negotiating climate. But Goode came into the negotiations pretty much like fresh off of the MOVE bombing.
Oh, no.
Where, for those who don't know Philadelphia city lore, MOVE was a radical black group that basically had multiple standoffs with the police, but their final major standoff with the police ended with the Philadelphia Police Department dropping incendiary bombs on their house in West Philly, which ended up burning down the block. And it was not great.
Remember when I said we should probably like learn her history? Maybe not, Gabe.
Yeah.
You're the city that bombed itself.
Yeah. And recently, the Penn Museum keeps finding remains of children from the MOVE bombing that should be repatriated.
Oh, this is good. This is real good.
Anyway, so...
That's not what this episode is about, though.
No. There are so many other rabbit holes that I had to avoid going down while researching this. So, an investigation found that Goode was guilty of dereliction of duty during the MOVE bombing, and that he could have prevented it.
Sure.
But basically didn't. So he came into the negotiations needing to appear strong, and he needed to show that he wasn't going to back down to anyone, especially not Earl Stout, who had a reputation of basically bullying every Philadelphia mayor into giving his workers what he wanted.
I love it, though.
Yeah.
So when did Goode bomb the Domino Lane dump, Gabe?
You know, surprisingly, that...
Did he get around to that yet?
He hasn't yet. I would not give any Philadelphia mayor any ideas.
Zombie Goode. There is also Philadelphia lore where the Philadelphia mayors, upon passing away, they do come back as zombies.
Yes.
Cheryl Parker got a head start.
So, going into the negotiations, DC 33 was demanding a 1-year contract with full payment of welfare funds, which meant that the city would contribute $48 million to the union's welfare fund.
Okay.
They wanted an expansion of contributions to the health fund, which was a fully union-controlled hospital and health insurance fund.
Sure.
They wanted a 16% wage increase, no layoff clause, and a prohibition on outside contractors. One of the issues they were starting to see was Goode was undercutting the union's wages by bringing in contractors that would work for less.
Interesting.
So, again, we're not giving any current mayors any ideas. The Goode, on the other hand, wanted the city to have a say in the administration of the health and welfare funds. So he wanted them to be able to audit it. He wanted a 2-year wage freeze.
What?
Uh-huh.
All right.
It should be noted that DC 33 was going into this having already agreed to a wage freeze in the last contract under Mayor Green. And he wanted reductions in benefits for new employees. So he wanted to create a 2-tier system.
Okay.
Or a 2-tier benefit system. Yeah, the unions had accepted back-to-back 1-year wage freezes over the last 3 contracts.
Damn.
So their wages were already well behind inflation.
Yeah.
And really, like, with that context in mind, the 16% is really just like getting up to date with inflation and then a slight raise. But
hey, we can afford food now.
yeah, that'd be great. So contract deadline was July 1st. Everyone knew that a fight was going to come because neither of these guys, like Goode, couldn't back down, and Stout, that it was just not in his wiring to ever back down. So on June 1st, 5,000 members in a joint meeting of DC 47 and DC 33 met to authorize a strike. This was also like 5,000 members was a little bit over a quarter of the union. In total, it was probably about, but getting a quarter of both district councils to show up in one spot,
Sure,
and all vote with, like, I couldn't get exact numbers on this, but every account was an overwhelming yes vote and almost unanimous. So 5,000 people were ready to throw down and fight. So Stout spent 10 minutes at this meeting just haranguing the Goode administration and getting the crowd riled up. DC 47's president, Thomas Payne Cronin, also spoke out against Goode's admin, and basically both blue and white collar workers were fed up and ready to actually fight for something at this point.
Yay!
So negotiations continued throughout June, but with very little progress. Neither side was willing to budge at all, and the strike deadline just, kept getting closer and closer because that's how time works. And Mayor Goode managed to really piss off the sanitation workers at one point in an offhand remark after a press conference. So, like, he was just walking away and he said this. And he said, there are some, talking about sanitation workers, there are some who cheat the taxpayers by driving around in empty trucks, slacking off, and taking money to pick up trash.
Yo, fuck him.
Yeah.
Fuck this guy.
So that did not endear him to the sanitation workers in the city, surprisingly. And on the evening of June 30th, the day before the strike deadline, Goode came to DC 33's headquarters. This was kind of a political ploy for him to try and show that he was willing to negotiate. What ended up happening is Stout made him wait for an hour
Yes.
before inviting him into a conference room that was full of union officials.
Yes.
So he was sitting down at a table surrounded by union elected officers.
Yes.
Goode laid out the city's position, and as mid-sentence, Stout interrupted him by yelling, "I don't want to hear all that stuff. I have told you over and over again that I want my money. I want $48 million in cold cash. Do you have my money? Do you? Because if you don't, you are wasting my time. Answer me. Do you have my money? Just tell me, is the check in your briefcase or did you bring me cash?
Holy
Do you
shit.
have it?"
Holy shit.
Yeah. So
What a gangster, man.
Goode responded by saying, "Mr. Stout, you know I don't have the money." Stout walked out of the room saying, over his shoulder, "See you in the streets."
Oh my God. I don't know.
Yeah.
Damn. All right, Stout.
So I to be a fly on the wall in that moment.
Holy God, damn, man.
So Goode, from a broader political perspective, Goode probably knew that was going to happen.
Yeah.
And his whole plot here was to show up and try and show the public that he was coming to negotiate.
Yeah.
And Stout was being adamant and not negotiating nicely.
Sure.
Which,
I mean, he did just threaten him with a flick knife, so I mean.
Yeah. He was trying to win the PR war early.
Yeah.
And then some of his staff showed up to City Hall, or some of Goode's staff showed up to City Hall that evening with suitcases, saying that they were prepared to sleep there until the strike was settled.
Okay.
Goode spoke to the press that evening, saying that he had tried to negotiate, but Stout was just bent on striking.
Oh, God.
Yeah. Despite the fact that, Goode didn't change any of his negotiating positions. But anyway. So at 12:01 a.m., July 1st, 1986, 12,884 members of District Council 33, as well as the approximately 2,500 members of District Council 47, went on strike.
Whoa.
Pickets were set up at City Hall. Trash collection did not go out the next morning. Some pools were closed. Some were still open. And multiple water department locations were picketed, but not closed because they still, needed to have water going to people's houses.
This was 2 weeks ago, Gabe.
Yeah, basically.
This was 2 weeks ago.
July feels like it was 3 years long. But yes, this was only 2 weeks ago. So Mayor Goode had also been in touch with former Mayor Maynard Jackson, the former mayor of Atlanta, Georgia,
Oh, okay.
who had put down an AFSCME strike in his own city. And Jackson told Goode, keep everything open, just act like the strike isn't happening, continue business as usual.
Nice.
And make sure that the union's action doesn't impact the citizens too much.
Mm-hmm.
All while continuing to call for negotiations without indicating any change in position whatsoever. So, I don't know if that sounds familiar to anybody.
It's 2 weeks ago, Gabe.
Mm-hmm. So, the other parallel between July 2025 and July 1986 was the strike started right before July 4th, which is always a big deal in Philly because
for some reason.
Yeah, I don't know why.
America, something.
Yeah. We got some kind of hall of independence.
Some freedom. Shit.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is.
It's the one day in Philly where freedom is spelled with an F and not a PH.
According to Parker.
Yeah. Well, she's really good at spelling.
Yeah.
Okay, so trash started to pile up around the city, but Goode was adamant that July 4th celebrations were going to continue uninterrupted.
Oh no! Did LL Cool J? I mean, it was 86. He was around.
Yeah. So Goode hosted the usual speeches and celebrations at Independence Hall, where he was greeted by a group of striking workers who heckled him. So there's now a picture of a crowd of people at July 4th. Everyone in the front row of this picture is wearing DC 47 Local 2187 shirts. One of them on the left-hand side is Thomas Paine Cronin, who is wearing what he calls his strike hat, which was a Panama hat that he said he won't take off in public until the strike is over.
Okay.
He is also wearing his bright red AFSCME suspenders that say AFSCME down the front.
Okay. But wearing a hat that you're just not going to take off? I mean, I don't think the mayor's going to budge. It's like, I will not take off this piece of headgear.
The pickets were also lined up around Eakins Oval to ensure that so they didn't have LL Cool J. They were supposed to have the Philly Pops.
Okay.
But Philly Pops canceled.
In solidarity?
I believe so, actually.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, the Philly Pops concert was canceled. Then they were picketing Eakins Oval. Again, this was a couple weeks ago. Then pickets left Eakins Oval at around 5:30 p.m. They stuck their signs in the chicken wire security fence.
Okay.
And basically, like, the rest of July 4th was effectively just pretty peaceful. They heckled the mayor, but they didn't really interrupt the celebrations that much. Despite all of that, the managing director, James S. White, sent a letter to the presidents of DC 33 and DC 47 admonishing them for the supposed violence committed by their striking members. The violence cited included draining city pools, slashing a couple tires.
Yo, this was 2 weeks ago.
Uh-huh.
The playbook for everybody has not changed. What is this?
Well,
are we looking like the Twilight Zone here?
The one that did not occur most recently was cutting traffic signal box wires.
I don't think that happened.
No. Which did apparently cause a couple accidents in West Philly.
Okay.
Which is fair. Like, that was...
I mean, that's an odd...
Yeah. There's
thing to sabotage.
Also, there is little evidence that this was all done by striking workers.
No, seriously.
It's just, this happened during the strike.
Yeah, so it attributed to the strikers, of course.
Mm-hmm.
According to Wilson Goode.
Yeah. They also vandalized locks on some of the public pools and stuff like that. So basically, they broke locks off the gates to get into places to, like, drain the pool.
Sure.
Yeah. And they also harassed non-striking workers. So, called people scab.
Oh, those guys.
Yeah. So Thomas Paine Cronin, the, again, president of DC 47, responded by saying that there was not one shred of evidence that his union committed any violence, and went on to say that Goode was trying to turn the people of Philadelphia against us because they are a scab administration. And at this point, I think we need to introduce Thomas Paine Cronin. The second most famous Thomas Paine in Philadelphia. So he was originally from California, came to Philly to attend Cheney University for a history degree while working in a pretzel factory.
Damn.
Yeah. After college, he taught in the Darby School District, but this was during Vietnam, and there was a possibility of him being called up, but he was listed as a conscientious objector. So instead of doing service in Vietnam, he had to do community service in Mantua in West Philly. Working
Same
with,
thing.
Yeah.
Same thing.
Working with various Quaker organizations. So while he was working in Mantua, he got involved in the civil rights movement, went down to help do voter registration drives in Mississippi and Georgia in the late 60s. While down there, he got arrested and on from my understanding, on a couple of occasions, almost killed.
Oh, damn.
He returned to Philly in 1967, taking a job with the Human Relations Commission, where he helped to organize AFSCME 2187, which is the non-supervisory white-collar municipal union. He also helped to organize social workers into AFSCME 2186 in 1970.
Okay.
And the whole time was pushing for more militancy among District Council 47's leadership until he was elected its president in 1980. So now, as president, Cronin was known for showing up in his AFSCME suspenders, which you can now see finally, staging sit-ins at city council, and wearing his strike hat on picket lines.
I gotta get a strike hat.
Yeah. So prior to all of this, Cronin had asked Stout to do joint negotiations with both 47 and 33, negotiating as a single body.
Okay.
Stout had refused. And that meant that while their contract deadlines were the same, 47 and 33 were negotiating separately. So
okay.
both unions were on strike at the same time, respecting each other's picket lines, but it was technically two separate strikes happening simultaneously.
All right, Gabe.
So that'll come up again. Strike dragged on. Trash continued to pile up around the city. July 7th, negotiations resumed for the first time since the strike had started. So that whole first week, no discussions.
Great.
For 17 hours, both sides were in negotiations, with the strike mediator running back and forth between JFK Plaza and DC 33's headquarters. At 11 p.m., Stout emerged from DC 33's headquarters, speaking to the press for the first time since the strike started. This was basically like his first public appearance since July 1st. Saying that he was ready for it to be over and his people needed to get back to work, which is
okay.
He's opening the door to some actual negotiation here. But at 2:50 a.m. July 8th, the state mediator told the press that he wasn't optimistic. At 3 a.m. July 8th, Mayor Goode summoned the press to City Hall. At 3:35, he had a press conference stating that the negotiations had yet again fallen through, again blaming the union for demanding that the city not hire outside contractors to do the work of DC 33 members.
Yeah.
So,
okay.
That totally unreasonable position that you can't replace the union with scabs.
Wait, Gabe, we got to stop. We don't want to give Parker any more fucking ideas.
Well, she already let me continue.
She is,
she's reading the playbook already. So, he at 11 a.m. he announced the opening of 17 temporary dump sites around the city.
Hey, there we go.
So,
sounds familiar.
Yeah. These almost immediately started to fill up with trash because people had a week's worth of trash sitting around in their house.
Yeah.
And these were located in empty parking lots, parks, abandoned fields, and right next to residential areas.
Hey!
So, normal stuff. Citizens started complaining the moment the trash started to show up. They were also all unfenced, unlit, and unguarded. One collection site was closed because it caught fire. Others were closed because the city discovered that they were technically on private property and the city had no right to use them.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Others were eventually moved because of complaints from local residents. I also found out that one of the ones that was on private property was actually right down the street from me. Not to completely dox myself.
You should put up a historical marker, Gabe.
But it was at Roberts and Wayne Ave, and I actually know it was in a parking lot there. I know what that parking lot is because it's now an auto body shop. So I can imagine that as a pile of trash. It is also still private property. At no point was that public property. There was also there were
I love them just telling people, just like dump your trash at the local Pet Boys.
Yeah, like that's basically what they did. Okay,
I don't know how I could be getting PTSD from 2 weeks ago, but I am, Gabe. I'm just seeing loads of trash in public parks where there are kids playing less than 10 feet away from this trash.
Yeah. I'm surprised that none of the trash piles caught fire in the 2025 strike, because a couple did in 1986. Which that could also have been like, I bet you people just throwing a cigarette on the pile.
Yeah.
As they walk by.
Sure.
But I don't know. Or it's also entirely possible people were just like chucking lit matches on them just for fun.
I mean, that's how we used to do in the old days, baby. Incinerator.
Well, so total tangent, but one of the notes in like the bottom of an Inquirer article was saying that the citizens that lived next to all of the municipal incinerators were actually really happy about the strike because for the first time in their lives, they weren't breathing incinerator smoke every day.
I mentioned the Domino Lane dump. There was an incinerator right across the street from there. And when my dad moved to Roxborough, he remembers there being fucking flakes of trash coming down on the top of the house.
And yeah, there's like,
let's just burn our trash.
Everyone that lived near those was finally getting a respite for the first time.
Woo!
So no way we could ever possibly solve that problem.
We'll figure this out, Gabe.
Yeah.
Okay, more plastic. We need more plastic.
Yes.
More plastic. That's the solution. More plastic straws. Fuck the turtles.
Well, if you burn the plastic straws, you're not going to hurt the turtles.
Hey, there we go.
It's science. So all of the trash pile problems that kept popping up, but Managing Director White came out and said that the city is in fact not embarrassed. In fact, we are quite pleased.
What?
Because there were relatively few issues that I think almost immediately 3 of the 17 dump sites had to be closed or moved. But relatively few issues. Meanwhile, DC 47 was maintaining 89% of its members who could strike, because there are some members who can't, who are in like managerial positions. And 69% of those who couldn't were respecting the picket lines. Because the other thing that DC 47 had maintained in all of their contracts at this point was basically a respect picket lines clause. Yeah. So staff had the ability to do that. So overall, despite the city trying to undercut the strike by opening up the dump sites, both 33 and 47 were maintaining effective pickets. And there was actually a lot of camaraderie between the two unions, because for the most part, these were groups of people that never really interacted, but they were now meeting each other out on the picket lines.
Sure.
And presumably some of them met at the 5,000 person strong meeting.
Well, they were forged by fire, Gabe.
Yes.
Trash fire.
Trash fire.
I beat you there.
Image on the left here is trash being piled at 47th and Chestnut Street on July 8th.
Cool.
This was a site that was determined to be private property, so the city moved it to 47th and Market, which is what the image on the right-hand side is showing. That's 47th and Market.
Oh my god! I love how we're eminent domaining dumps.
Yeah. Well, it was also later determined that 47th and Market was also private property, but at that point, there was too much trash there to get rid of. And you can even see in this picture on the right, there's a station wagon with someone dumping trash out of the back.
We got you.
Yep.
Dox this motherfucker.
So
Scab.
So strike continued. The trash piles and overall city sanitation was just getting worse and worse. The smell was getting awful because it was a hot summer.
Oh god, hot Philly soup.
Mm-hmm. Dump sites were filling up faster than anticipated, and Mayor Goode said the city could handle another week without trash collections.
What?
Yeah,
he doesn't know what he's talking about.
No, that's not sustainable for another week. So negotiations with DC 33 had resumed by July 14th, which was 2 weeks into the strike. But the city was looking into the possibility of hiring outside contractors to collect the trash, which would only escalate tensions with Stout. Likewise, neither side was willing to budge at all on the city's demand to audit the workers' healthcare funds. Because I think Stout, or the DC 33's estimation, or at least my guess, is they recognize that was the first step at the city clawing that back.
Sure.
And the union losing it. And it getting shut down. Because the moment, if they found any issues, or even if they could invent an issue with it, they would use that as a reason to shut it down.
Yeah. I don't know. I trust the city on this one, Gabe.
We always trust Mayor Goode.
We got a proven track record.
Yeah.
The mayors of the city.
So DC 47 was conducting separate negotiations with the city. And 3 days earlier, so 3 days before the 14th, on July 11th, I can do math.
You did math good, Gabe.
Oh, yeah.
You did math really good.
Signed a tentative agreement with the city. So,
okay.
The white-collar workers of DC 47, which is about 2,500 municipal employees, had earned a 10% wage increase over 2 years, which was 2% immediately, 3% in March 1987, and 5% on January 1st, 1988. They also got a 17% increase in city contributions to medical benefits, which put them in parity with cops and firefighters. They got their dental coverage increased from the city covering 80% to it covering 90%.
Okay.
Which is pretty nice.
That's not bad.
Prospective employees earned 25% less sick leave, with 20 days of sick leave earned after 2 years of service. Okay. So that was the city starting to set up a two-tier system, but you win some, you lose some. Then there were step increases for various positions instituted in July 1987. So the next year, a bunch of different jobs would get a step increase. So,
okie dokie.
Then they also agreed to return any leftover funds from the Union Health Fund to the city at the end of every year.
Really?
So,
okay.
Basically, I think that was their negotiation at keeping the city from auditing it, which it's I mean, I see why they did it. I would have to do a much more in-depth history of union health funds in Philly to see how that played out over the 80s and 90s. But most important thing, they also got the two most important parts of this was an amnesty clause for any DC 47 member who refused to cross the picket line.
Sure.
That way, basically 47 could stay out on strike without a contract violation, so that even though they had already signed a contract, they were doing everything they could to not hurt DC 33.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah. They also had a most favored nations clause, so that if DC 33 gets a better deal, DC 47 automatically gets that same deal.
I like it.
Yeah. So that got ratified on Saturday, July 12th.
Okay.
And Stout was fucking furious that 47 had settled.
Yeah, I guess so.
Because I mean, it was a legit.
It was a good. It sounds like a good contract, though.
Yeah, but
Not
it's
best, but okay. But yeah, I mean, like it kind of drives a wedge and hurts
it
33 a little bit.
He viewed it as them undermining his strike.
Yeah,
and so he called the settlement pussy poor and a dirty thing to do. In response, Cronin shot back that Stout was being a crybaby.
Oh my god!
And that he was surprised that Stout had the unmitigated gall to criticize his union's decision.
Damn.
So Cronin,
if there's anything about Stout that we know, that he has the gall.
Oh yes,
he has the gall. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah. So Cronin argued that he had tried for months prior to negotiations to get Stout to agree to joint negotiations, but Stout insisted that he works alone.
Mm-hmm.
So,
okay.
Yeah. Additionally, Cronin made sure that his members had a clause in their contract allowing them to respect picket lines, like I had said. And at the ratification meeting on July 12th, he told all of the members of DC 47 that he expects them to respect DC 33's picket lines.
Okay.
So, like, I'm a little bit on Cronin's side here, but
yeah, I mean,
I still get where Stout's coming from.
Yeah, I understand both sides, but
yeah, it's always good to both sides these things.
Everything needs to be both sides,
as with all things.
I'm playing both sides, so I always come out on top.
Exactly. So Stout was still furious, especially since he was really pissed off about the most favored nation clause, because that effectively allowed, as he saw it, that allowed DC 47 to benefit off of DC 33's work if they got a better contract.
Yeah. So
he still thought they could have gotten a better deal if they had stayed out together, which is possible, but
Maybe.
It also, there doesn't seem to be any indication that he was coordinating negotiations with 47.
Yeah.
So I think it's, to a certain extent, this is, everybody was just a huge egomaniac in all of these negotiations. And I don't think any of these three men would have ever gotten along.
But I would love to see an early 90s sitcom with these three.
Oh my God, yes.
Frank Rizzo can be the one who like comes in and like, instead of like Kramer, everyone cheering, just everyone boos when he comes in the door. It's like, no.
Oh. Okay. After DC 47's settlement, AFSCME president Gerald McGinty, who is another Philly boy, we talked about him from the 1975 strike, because he helped organize all of the municipal workers the statewide municipal workers in Pennsylvania.
Against the Shapster.
Yeah.
Right.
So Gerald McGinty came into Philly and ordered Stout back to the bargaining table and continued negotiations with Mayor Goode. But at this point, the city had another trick up its sleeve, and another one that'll sound very familiar.
Oh god, they bombed.
No, injunctions.
Hey, that sounds familiar, Gabe.
Yep. So July 16th, Common Pleas Court Judge Edward J. Blake ordered 2,500 sanitation workers back to work by 9 a.m. on the 17th. This was ostensibly done for public safety,
Sure.
but had the impact of severely undermining the union's bargaining position.
Laws were made for people, and the law can never scorn the right of a man to be free, Gabe.
Theoretically. Unless it's an injunction telling you that you have to go back to work.
Oh, you're right. Fuck that then.
Yeah.
Get back to work.
So DC 33 stated that the strike would continue, and 20 strike captains met on the night of the 16th to plan out how to maintain pickets at sanitation depots
Yeah.
without those 2,500 sanitation workers. So those workers themselves were less willing to go back to work. At least one of them who was interviewed stated that while union leadership wanted them to return to work, they were determined to stay out on the picket line.
All right.
So, quick image note here on the left. These are a group of sanitation workers who were under the injunction being told to return to work after being served a contempt citation for ignoring the injunction and continuing to picket. Mayor Goode threatened that any striker who didn't return to work would be faced with a contempt citation and immediately dismissed from the job. Stout said that he would abide by the advice given by his legal counsel, but that he couldn't control his people. As he said, if my people don't go back to work, what do I do? Fair. Like,
Fair play.
he is simply their elected representative.
What can I do?
Yeah.
No.
So on the 17th, pickets were out in force at the sanitation depots, and only a handful of the 2,500 workers that were ordered back to work actually reported in for a shift. Mayor Goode followed through on his threats, and the judge issued contempt citations for all of them who didn't return.
That fucking sucks, man.
Yeah. Additionally, 1,000 DC 47 health and human service workers were issued a back-to-work injunction. City's HR division started calling applicants for the sanitation jobs, and the mayor stated that he had contractors ready to go within 6 hours to remove the 19 temporary dump sites around the city. Only 14 of those 19 dump sites were actually open at this point.
Yeah.
So everything was starting to escalate, but cracks were starting to show in DC 33's picket lines at this point.
No.
Yeah.
No.
So morale had dropped. Their already low wages meant that they didn't have a lot in savings to hold out for a long strike.
Sure.
And then the injunctions made it even worse. And people were scared that they were going to lose their job if they didn't show up, which is
sure.
That's a legit fear. So on July 15th, they had only 15% of strikers crossing the picket line. July 16th, 22%, 22.8% on July 18th, and totaling a little bit over 2,500 on July 18th. Now, it should be noted a lot of these weren't actually sanitation workers, but were workers from other departments. And the sanitation workers themselves actually tended to have very high strike discipline.
Cool.
Which I think was in part under Stout's presidency, because Stout came from sanitation, there was an extra level of machismo and solidarity.
Yeah.
I mean, as you can see from this picture, there's some fucking machismo going on.
That is my God, Gabe.
Yeah.
I'm
so
visibly turned on.
Judge Blake found the union in contempt of court on Friday, July 18th, which added more pressure for the union to end the strike and return to work. By Sunday the 20th, shop stewards and other union leaders announced that they would respect the order and report for their shifts in the coming week.
Okay.
This is a picture on the right-hand side. It's a picture of Mayor Goode at one of the temporary dump sites on the 20th, overseeing the trash collection finally starting. So after the 20th, the strike started to collapse, and the city offered DC 33 just about the same deal that they had offered DC 47. So in the end, they got a 4% wage increase on August 15th, a 6% additional increase on January 1st, 1988, 32% increase in the health and benefits plan to $291 per capita. So each person got $291 added to their, or $291 in their health and benefits plan. Most importantly for the city, it gave them the right to audit DC 33's health and welfare fund, which had been the primary sticking point during the entire strike. Then by July 22nd, Stout signed the tentative agreement, which was later ratified by membership, and the strike ended with at least something of a contract, but it was severely whittled down from what their initial negotiating positions were.
Yeah, that's tough, man.
Yeah.
I mean, these are people working, paycheck to paycheck.
Yeah.
These are people who are hungry, they're on the picking lines all night long. You can't really, I can't really blame them.
No.
And they had like a stacked deck against them.
And that's one of the issues with a sanitation strike is you have a lot of power, but I think if the mayor's administration can last long enough to basically if the mayor's administration can last long enough to get the courts involved and start really threatening people's futures, then this is going to keep happening, because the other side of it is that because sanitation workers are held in such a precarious position all the time, that they're the ones who need a strong strike and a really good contract the most, but they're it's also the hardest for them to actually strike because it's weeks without money. So
what a damn shame, Gabe.
Yeah,
what a damn shame.
But we solved all these problems, and there's nothing to talk about today. So
no, we're good now.
It's fine.
It's fine. Go hug a sanitation worker, because you probably can't give him a bottle of water because it's probably against the law or some shit. But I don't know. Wave to a sanitation worker and say, "Thank you, thank a sanitation worker, thank a library worker, thank someone who at your local recreational pool. Thank a worker, wherever you are. Thank a worker,
and thank yourself if you're a worker.
And thank yourself. Yeah, pat yourself in the back. Get a milkshake, strawberry milkshake. That's on me. I won't pay for it, but I don't know.
You want it poured on you?
Yeah. Yeah, Gabe.
I think
you heard me.
That was the 1986 municipal strike in Philadelphia. I don't know what we learned.
Stop asking me what we learned from these episodes, Gabe. We learned that nothing changes.
Yeah.
And that the mayors of Philadelphia are always the best, tip-top, greatest, less corrupt politicians in the whole country, actually,
Yeah.
So, God bless Philadelphia. I will die for my country, Philadelphia.